I was sitting alone at a table meant for 4 when the text came through. "Sorry, honey, Stephanie's audition got moved up. We have to drive her. You understand, right?" The waiter hovered nearby, probably wondering why the girl celebrating her college graduation was eating breadsticks by herself. I opened Instagram. My mom had just posted a photo, her, Dad, and Stephanie, all smiling outside some studio in LA. The caption read, "So proud of our star." That's when I realized I wasn't just second place in my family. I was invisible. My name is Natalie. I'm 26 years old, and for most of my life, I convinced myself that being the easy daughter was a good thing. I was the practical one. Good grades, never missed curfew, helped with dishes without being asked. I worked as a physical therapist assistant at a children's rehab clinic. It wasn't glamorous, but it mattered. I had a 7-year-old patient who walked again after a car accident. I had a teenager who regained mobility in her hands after a stroke. Those moments meant everything to me. My younger sister Stephanie is 23. She's an aspiring actress and singer. Charismatic. Dramatic. Always needed something. New headshots. Another acting class. One more trip to LA for the audition that's going to change everything. Our parents poured everything into her. Money, time, attention. They paid for acting coaches, rented studio space for her demo reel, drove her to auditions 4 hours away. I paid my own way through community college and my certification program. Took out loans, worked night shifts at a grocery store to cover rent. I never complained. I told myself being low maintenance was a strength, that my parents were just busy, that Stephanie's dreams were valid and needed support. I wasn't chasing spotlights or posting inspirational quotes over sunset photos. But I had patients who got back on their feet because of me. That had to count for something, right? If you've ever been the invisible child in your family, hit subscribe and tell me where you're watching from. I want to hear your story, because I know how much it hurts to be overlooked by the people who are supposed to see you most. That graduation dinner was supposed to be different. Mom made the reservation herself 2 weeks before. She told me she was proud. She said we'd celebrate properly. But Stephanie's audition got moved up, and once again, I came second. I ate alone that night, smiled at the waiter when he brought out a single cupcake with a candle, took a selfie to prove I was fine. I wasn't fine. A week later, my parents invited me over for a family talk. I thought maybe they'd apologize, bring it up, acknowledge how much it hurt. I walked into their living room and sat on the same couch I'd grown up on. Stephanie was sprawled in the armchair, scrolling through her phone. Mom poured iced tea like this was a casual Sunday visit. Then Dad cleared his throat. "We need a favor," he said. "A big one. Not an apology, a favor." "Okay," I said carefully. Mom leaned forward, hands clasped like she was about to deliver good news. Stephanie got a call back for a Netflix series. Stephanie didn't look up from her phone. "It's not guaranteed yet, but my agent says I have a real shot." Dad nodded. "She needs to stay in LA for 3 months, for networking and classes, build relationships with casting directors." I waited. "We've already spent most of our savings on her previous auditions," Mom continued. Her voice was gentle, like she was letting me in on a secret. "So we were hoping you'd co-sign a loan." The room went very still. "How much?" I asked. 15,000, Dad said. "It's for rent, classes, headshots. She'll pay you back once she books the role." I stared at him. "You want me to go into debt? For her acting career?" Mom's smile tightened. "It's not debt, it's an investment. This is her big break, Natalie." "You've always been so responsible with money," Dad added. "You can handle this." Stephanie finally looked up. "I'd do it for you, Nat. If you ever had a dream." The words hit like a slap. If I ever had a dream, as if getting my degree, working with kids who needed me, building a career, none of that counted as a dream. No, I said. The word came out quieter than I meant it to, but it was the first time I'd ever said it to them. Mom blinked. What? I'm not co-signing a $15,000 loan. Dad's expression shifted. Natalie, this is family. I know, and I'm saying no. Stephanie sat up, eyes wide. Are you serious right now? I have my own bills, my own loans. I can't take on yours too. Mom's face went cold. It's the only way I can describe it, like a door slamming shut. We've given you everything, she said slowly. This is the one time we ask for help, and you can't be supportive. Maybe we spoiled you, Dad muttered, shaking his head, paying for your car insurance all these years. I stood up. My hands were shaking. I'm sorry, I can't. Stephanie stood too, grabbing her purse. Unbelievable. She stormed out. I left right after, my chest tight, my throat burning. By the time I got home, Stephanie had posted an Instagram story. No names, but her followers knew. It's hard when the people you love won't support your dreams. Guess I know who really has my back. I sat on my apartment floor and cried for the first time in years. But I also felt something else. Anger. 2 months later, Thanksgiving rolled around. I assumed I was invited to my parents' house like always. We'd done it there every year since I was born. Turkey, stuffing, Mom's cranberry sauce that was too sweet, but nobody complained. I texted Mom the week before. What can I bring Thursday? She didn't respond. Wednesday night, I saw the Instagram post. Stephanie had tagged our parents at their dining table. The turkey was already carved. The table was set with the good plates. They'd had Thanksgiving dinner without me, a day early, and didn't tell me. I called Mom. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the phone. Hey, honey, she said, like nothing was wrong. You had Thanksgiving yesterday? Oh. A pause. Yeah, we did a small low-key thing this year. Didn't want to bother you since you've been so busy. Busy. That was the excuse. You didn't think to invite me? It was last minute, sweetie. Don't make a big deal out of it. I hung up. I spent Thanksgiving eating takeout on my couch, trying not to cry. The message was clear. I'd said no, so I was being punished. A month later, I ran into my parents at a neighborhood holiday party. I hadn't planned to go, but a friend dragged me along. They were near the fireplace, talking to a couple I vaguely recognized from church. I thought about leaving, but my mom saw me. Natalie, she called, waving me over. I walked over. Dad nodded, didn't hug me. The couple smiled. Natalie, we haven't seen you in forever. How's work? It's good, I said. Busy, rewarding. She works with kids, the woman said. That must take so much patience. I started to answer, but Mom cut in. Well, someone has to do the regular jobs, right? She laughed lightly. Not everyone can be a star. The group laughed too. I couldn't tell if they were laughing with her or at me. The man turned to my dad. How's Stephanie's acting going? Didn't she have an audition? Dad's face lit up. He launched into a 10-minute story about Stephanie's callback, her agent, the casting director who loved her energy. He talked about her headshots, her reel, her courage to chase her dreams. I stood there, invisible again. Later, I overheard Mom talking to someone by the dessert table. Natalie's always been a little practical, she said. No spark, you know? I left without saying goodbye. In January, my phone rang from a number I didn't recognize. Is this Natalie? Yes. This is regarding your overdue credit card account ending in 4738. My stomach dropped. I don't have that card. You're listed as a cosigner. The account is 60 days past due. Your credit score has been affected. I pulled up my credit report that night. She was right. My score had tanked. I called my parents the next morning. Did you put me on a credit card? Dad sighed. Years ago, yeah, for emergencies. It's maxed out. You haven't made a payment in 2 months. We'll pay it back, he said. You're being dramatic. My credit is ruined. Mom's voice came through the speaker. This is what families do, Natalie. They help each other. In the background, I heard Stephanie. God, Natalie, not everything is about you. I hung up. I sat in my car in the clinic parking lot and realized something. They didn't see me as a daughter. They saw me as a resource. I stopped answering their calls. I picked up extra shifts on weekends. I started journaling to process everything. Years of being overlooked, dismissed, used. One day, my coworker Dr. Patel found me in the break room, staring at my phone. You okay? For the first time, I said it out loud. I don't think my family actually loves me. She sat down. Tell me what's going on. And I did. What my parents didn't know was that I'd been working on something I'd never told them about. For over a year, I'd been taking night courses to finish my Doctor of Physical Therapy degree, DPT. It meant longer hours, more debt, studying until 2 a.m. after a full shift. I'd kept it secret. Every time I'd mentioned a professional goal before, my parents changed the subject or compared me to Stephanie. So I stopped trying to impress them. I worked double shifts, saved every dollar, studied after midnight. I kept a folder on my laptop labeled just in case. Screenshots of their texts, credit card statements, the debt collection notices, a timeline of every canceled dinner, every missed event. I wasn't planning revenge, but I was done being small. In March, my supervisor told me about an opening. Lead pediatric physical therapist, my own office, a significant raise. I interviewed. I got it. A week later, I finished my DPT degree. I didn't tell my parents, but my mom found out anyway. A mutual friend congratulated her, and she called me that evening. Her voice was sweet, warm even. Honey, we heard about your promotion. That's amazing. We should celebrate. Come to dinner this weekend. I knew what this was. It wasn't love. It was optics. Another chance to ask me for money, now that I had more of it. But I said yes. Because this time, I was ready. I pulled up to my parents' house on Saturday evening. Stephanie's car was already in the driveway. Mom opened the door, smiling. Come in, come in. The dining table was set with the good plates, candles. She'd made my favorite dish, baked ziti. I hadn't seen her make it in years. We sat down. Small talk at first. The weather. Work. Stephanie's latest audition that went really well. Then Dad cleared his throat. So, Natalie, congratulations on the promotion. Thanks. That's a pretty big raise, huh? I didn't answer. He glanced at Mom. She nodded. We were hoping, he continued, that you'd reconsider helping your sister, now that you're in a better position financially. There it was. I set down my fork. Actually, I wanted to talk to you all too. I reached into my bag and pulled out a manila folder. I'd printed everything. Credit card statements, debt collection notices, a typed timeline of every event they'd missed, every time they'd chosen Stephanie over me. I spread them across the table. This is what the last 5 years look like, I said. I'm not the selfish one, you are. Mom's face went pale. We were supporting your sister's dream. You were using me as a backup plan, and when I said no, you punished me. Stephanie rolled her eyes. Oh my God, you're so dramatic. I turned to her. You called me selfish on Instagram. You haven't asked me how I'm doing in 2 years. You don't even know what I do at work. She went quiet. I looked back at my parents. I finished my doctorate. I got promoted. I'm financially independent. And I've legally removed myself from the debt you created in my name. Dad's mouth opened, closed. I'm not bailing you out. I'm not co-signing anything. And I'm not pretending anymore that this is what love looks like. Mom's voice shook. After everything we sacrificed for you, you didn't sacrifice for me. I stood up. You gave me the leftovers, and I still made something of myself. Dad tried to recover. You're blowing this out of proportion. No, I'm just finally telling the truth. I grabbed my bag, left the folder on the table. Stephanie's voice was small. Nat, wait. But I didn't stop. I walked out the door and got in my car. My hands weren't shaking. My chest wasn't tight. I felt light. I spent so long waiting for them to see me. I didn't realize I was the only one who needed to. I didn't go no contact. But I set boundaries. Hard ones. I stopped going to family events where I was an afterthought. I focused on my career, my patience, my own life. 3 months later, my parents sent a text. Stiff. Awkward. We're sorry if we made you feel unappreciated. We love you. It wasn't real accountability, but it was something. Stephanie sent a longer message a week after that. I didn't realize how much I ignored you. I'm sorry. I didn't reply right away. I wasn't interested in performing forgiveness just to make them feel better. But I did feel lighter. I started building my own chosen family. Dr. Patel became a close friend. I joined a book club. I bought plants for my apartment. I started a savings account that actually grew. I have a life that belongs to me now. Sometimes I think back to that graduation dinner, sitting alone at a table meant for 4. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just free. I used to think their silence meant I wasn't enough. Now I know it just means they were never listening. And honestly, I don't need them to anymore. If this story hit home for you, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Seriously, I read every single one. Have you ever been the invisible one in your family? The one who did everything right and still got overlooked? Tell me your story below. You're not alone. And if you're still trying to prove yourself to people who won't see you, this is your sign to stop. Build your life for you. They'll either catch up or they won't. Either way, you'll be free. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.